Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Hmm. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to another edition of the P-Ave Perspective with Mr. O'Neill. I'm Mr. O'Neill, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me tonight on Facebook and YouTube, wherever you're watching from. And whether you're watching the live stream tonight or whether you're watching the replay video that I post on YouTube, I thank everybody for tuning in and taking this time out of your week to join me for our little weekly discussion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully everybody had a great week. Hopefully everybody will continue with this great week into the new week. And hey, football season is coming. Football season is almost here. But tonight we talking about a subject that affects every one of us. I try to keep these subjects, on point and serious. But like I said, tonight's subject affects all of us, not just the men, not just the women, not just the elderly, everybody, us, kids, everybody. And tonight's topic is breaking the cycle of poor health in Black families. Breaking the cycle of poor health in Black families. And as usual with a lot of these conversations or these topics that I choose to speak on, it's not going to be a comfortable conversation. It never is, because this is something that really a lot of times is not important until it makes itself important. But we're going to talk about something that many of us don't talk about until something goes wrong. And by then it's too late. But we're going to talk about our health tonight. And let me say this as a disclaimer. This program and this discussion is for educational purposes. It's conversation. It's not medical advice. So if you have symptoms, concerns about your health, or questions about screening or treatment or any of that we might speak on tonight, it's best you consult or get with a qualified health professional. I'm not a health professional. I do not give medical advice. So I had to put that disclaimer out there. But seriously though, like I said, we spend hours and we spend time talking about everything. We talk about money, we talk about relationships, we discuss politics, sports, crime, the economy. We talk about everything. But we don't spend enough time talking about our health. And we don't, a lot of times, even take the time out to ask ourselves, like, how healthy am I? How healthy am I? And let's keep it real. When was the last time you had your blood pressure checked? When was the last time you had your cholesterol checked? A lot of us, really probably don't even know what cholesterol is, but when was the last time you had your blood sugar checked? When was the last time you got a physical? I remember when we were young playing sports, us fellas, we used to get a physical, have to get a physical every year. But when was the last time you had a physical? And when was the last time you seriously had a conversation with yourself about your mental health? That's serious too. And like I said, we don't spend a lot of time talking about that. But that should be a major concern in your life. And an uncomfortable question is, what are you teaching your children? What are you teaching the next generation about health? Because we were kids once too. And like, I'm going to be honest, we tell our kids, to do as we say, not as we do. But kids, kids really, you know what I'm saying, don't just listen to what we tell them. They watch us to see what we do. So if we not taking our health serious, if we not, eating right, if we not exercising, if we not, taking care of our health, but we telling them to take care of theirs, are they really listening? Are they really basically following in our footsteps? Because I know I got my little dude, and like I said, he follows what I do more so than what I say. And so I have to be conscious of that. We have to be conscious of those around us and those that are watching us and looking up to us. But as usual, when I have these conversations, I like to focus on, you know, three basic things. Number one, how we got to this point. Number two, like what's going to happen if we continue down this path. And most importantly, we're going to talk about what we can do about it, what we can do to change this, and what we can do to get on top of our health, man. So we're going to get into it tonight. But believe me when I say about everything, like so many of us, when we talk about different things going on in the world, a lot of us act like we powerless to what's going on. And a lot of people act like, that it's somebody else's fault or it's somebody else, in control and all of that. But whatever it is, just like I said, no matter what it is we go through, no matter what it is that take place in this world, I believe we have the power to change it. But most of the time, change begins with acknowledging that we have a problem. That's where it starts. If you're not willing to acknowledge that we have a problem, I don't think we could ever change it. So, first, foremost, and always, we have to start with reality. And the reality is health problems affecting the Black community are real. They are real. And I'm going to read this. The Center for Disease Control defines health problems or health disparities as differences in disease occurrence, health conditions, and mortality among a population group. And the numbers tell us that we have serious work to do as Black people. For example, the Center for Disease Control data shows that in 2024, over 20% of Black adults reported being in poor health. That's over 20%. And that's just, you know what I'm saying, the ones that's reporting, because let's keep it real. A lot of times we don't even go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? We are notorious for that. We are notorious for that, where everybody should say, oh, you should get a checkup every year. You should see your physician every year. I'm not going to lie. Like me personally, like I've never been, I wasn't raised, in my community, growing up in my community. We were even taught, like, we didn't see the dentist, we didn't go to the doctor. Like you said, we went around sports time to take that little physical every year to play sports, or when something, was broken, or when something was hurting, when you had a toothache that you couldn't get rid of. We know we were ready to take some Tylenol, take some Tylenol and deal with the pain, treat the pain. But we weren't, all about hitting that hospital because we didn't have the money a lot of times. Our parents didn't have the money. And even now, when we think about going to that doctor and we think about the doctor bills, the medical bills, like, it deters us a lot of times because, simply put, we don't have the bread. But me personally, salute to the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, salute, because, like I said, that put a lot of us in the door. That gave a lot of us healthcare options, and, like, man, that was one of the best things that could ever happen to us. But still, a lot of us don't take advantage of it. A lot of us do not take advantage of it. And when we talk about black people, like, it's proven that we have it worse. And I'm not just talking about, any one thing. You think about it. You can run down the list. You got, like, high blood pressure. You got heart disease. You got stroke, diabetes, obesity or being overweight, like kidney disease, certain cancers. We prone for certain cancers like respiratory disease, mental health challenges, like substance use, and so many other chronic conditions. Like, the list goes on and on. But everybody has to understand that these are not just isolated problems. These problems can affect your ability to work. They can affect your ability to raise kids. They can affect your relationships. They can affect your finances. They affect your ability to really enjoy life. And eventually, if not taken seriously, they can shorten your life. That's the main thing you have to realize. Like, before you can be a good man, before you can be a good woman, before you can be a good husband or wife, before you can be a good parent, you have to be healthy. You have to be healthy, man. Before you do anything in life, it starts with your health. And so, at the end of the day, this is not just a medical conversation. This is a life conversation. This is a serious life conversation. Serious, so serious. But how we get here, how we got to this point, and that's the point where we need to be careful, because I'm not gonna sit here. I can't just. I try to be as honest and factual and unbiased as possible. So I can't sit here and tell you that all the problems, the health problems in the black community, are because we make bad choices as people. That's not the case. And I'm not gonna tell you that everything is somebody else's problem, like the system and like, I can't do it. I have to be honest with you. But both realities can be true. Both of those things can be true. And in this sense, both of them are. But a lot of the problems have to do with us and our personal decisions. And there are environmental and systemic conditions too that play a role. So I want to talk about that. But the National Institute of Health describes social determinants of health as conditions involving your income, your education level, the neighborhoods you live in, access to health care, access to healthy foods, housing, social support, and other circumstances that influence our health. And think about it, like, you got people hood, you got people, in the hood, like living in poverty. You have people that work two jobs. You have people that may not have reliable transportation or a way to get around. A lot of us live in neighborhoods with no grocery stores. Like, I remember, like, but A lot of us, you know what I'm saying, like I said earlier, don't have access to, health care, preventative health care. Like I said, everybody go to the hospital when you just can't, you know, deal with the pain no more. But a lot of times, preventative health care, getting the physicals, getting the checkups, getting the tests and everything like that before something pops up. A lot of people don't have access to that. And in this world we live in and now, man, people experience stress. People might not have the money to buy the healthiest food. We can't shop at Whole Foods. I tried it. I tried it. Whole Foods be hitting the pockets. So a lot of us don't have, the money to buy healthy foods. A lot of us say we don't have time to exercise. You got some people that's taking care of children, working. You got some people take care of their parents. It's so much going on in this world and so much going on a daily basis to the point where it's easy to, put health on the back burner. It's so easy. Like I done did it. I know people personally in life that done did it. So when we have to talk about this, we have to talk about the whole environment. And we have to just, really speak on what's real. But we also have to talk about our personal responsibility because it starts with us. With everything that go on in our lives, no matter what go on around us, no matter what obstacles we face, I'm a firm believer in like we have to make the right choices and decisions because even though circumstances may explain some of the challenges, they don't mean that we have to give in to those challenges. It does not mean we have to give in to those challenges. But in thinking about this episode and thinking about what I really wanted to speak on, and like I said, I like to get all the facts involved. But one of the biggest problems that I see when it comes to us, myself included, is the I'm good syndrome. That's what I named it when I thought about it. It's like the I'm good syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Like when we hurting or we feeling pain, I'm good. I'm good. I got it. We see, the signs and symptoms of different things like, we get tired all the time. We tired all the time. I'm good. People might bring up, you might think like, hey, I ain't seen a doctor. I ain't been to the doctor in like years. Like somebody bring it up, oh, I'm good. I'm good. You do go to the doctor. I done went to the doctor and my blood pressure kind of tested high. They're like, well, do you have high blood pressure? Have you ever suffered? Do anybody in your family? Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. Like, like you get depressed sometimes. Life get to you. Things ain't going like you wanted. It seems like you tripping over every obstacle or everything you try to do is not going right. Every move you try to make go wrong. You get kind of depressed. You get down and out, get quiet, and people, man, you good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We get to that point in life where, we not as active. We start gaining a little weight. People are like, hey, I see you gaining a little weight. Oh no, I'm good. We even call it healthy weight. Like I lose it eventually. I can knock it off, this and that when I want to, like find yourself sleepless at night, restless, can't get the right amount of rest. I'm good. I'm good. Like I used to tell people when I was younger, like, hey, man, you ain't getting enough sleep. I tell them, man, I sleep when I die. Like I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep going. But then inevitably one day something happens. Like bam, you go to the doctor, finally go to the doctor, get checked out, you get a bad diagnosis. Something wrong. You end up having to check you in the hospital. People have tapped out, had a stroke. People had a heart attack. You know, some serious complications. Like, and then out of the blue, your health becomes the most important thing in your life. Bam, reality strike. And by then, a lot of times, like I said, because we didn't take the warning signs serious, a lot of times by then I've seen it with older family members. I've seen it with my young partners. I've seen, shout out to my boy K Cole, youngster, having headaches, you know what I'm saying? And all that just it. I'll take some Tylenol or, I'm cool. And the next thing you know, this man, ends up in the hospital with tumors on his brain, testicular cancer, and everything. And it's like months after that, young man dead. And shout out to K Cole, man. That still hurt me. But that's when I looked at health and started taking health serious because that was a young, healthy youngster, hooped all the time and everything. And to lose him like that over some health problems that I felt like only affected older people. That really took me down through there, man. But shout out to K Cole, man. But why wait until then? Why wait until, it gets bad? Why not, what I'm saying, start taking the precautions? Start doing what we need to do to stay healthy in the beginning and not wait till it get to that point, man. Because like I said, the doctors will tell you, man, early detection is the key to overcoming a lot of this stuff. The earlier we can figure out what we're dealing with, the more likely it is that we can treat it and that we can overcome it, man. But the longer we wait, the worse it gets. And like trust me, I know because I'm one of those people. I have done it. I have done it. And just a personal story. I just went through, over the past few years, it's been a while now. But we get so caught up in life, man. We get so caught up in life. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was married, my wife went through a bad car accident. She hurt herself real bad. And as men, as people, period, in that time I felt like I had to step up and help make it happen for her. To the point where I ended up hurting my back, during that time. And it's like literally, honestly, like I haven't told many people this, people close to me know, but I literally started losing feeling in my legs. I really started losing feeling in my legs and it scared me, but I felt like as a man, I had to, keep pushing. I had to be there for her. And I'm a general contractor. I work on houses and stuff. So during that time, when I'm losing feeling in my legs, I'm all under houses, working, trying to get at the money, trying to get to the bag. But in the back of my mind, I'm knowing something is wrong. I'm knowing something is wrong, but I'm telling myself, like, don't worry about it right now. Just keep pushing. Just keep doing what you got to do. You got stuff to do. You can't, deal with that right now. You can't deal with it. And at the end of the day, like I said, I don't talk to this. I've shared it with people that know me. But once I knew she was straight and she was, on the road to recovery and like all of her stuff was out the way, then I said, okay, now I'm going to go to the hospital and I'm going to see what's going on. And just being straight up honest and being open with people. I sat in the doctor's office and the doctor basically asked me as a man, as a healthy human man, the man asked me, have I started urinating and having bowel movements on myself yet? And that nearly, killed me in itself. Just him asking me that because I've always known I'm a strong dude. I can push through anything. I can make it through anything. But when he asked me that, that was, I think, the most humbling moment that I've ever faced in my life. That was the most humbling moment that I've ever faced in my life. Still to this day, asking me, have I started urinating and having bowel movements on myself yet? Meaning, basically telling me as a man, like, you out of there. You in last place. But luckily, it was something that could be treated. You know what I'm saying? I had to have back surgery, still working through it, but like I caught it, you know what I'm saying, before it got detrimental. It was bad, but like it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse if I didn't go ahead. And the thing about it is, from the time of the injury to the time that I actually went to the hospital, man, it was like 4 or 5 years. I dealt with it like 4 or 5 years and pushed through because I never felt like, okay, I have the time to take off to go check on it, or I have the time. And like I literally knew it the whole time. I was losing feeling in my legs. I was actually in my own mind. I didn't tell too many people, and that's a problem too. But I didn't tell too many people. But I was basically planning to be paralyzed. I was basically, preparing my life. You know what I'm saying? Taking the proper steps in life to prepare myself for being paralyzed because I felt it coming. But for the life of me and for how I was raised and all of these excuses we make, I wouldn't go to the hospital. I put it off and put it off. But like that nearly caused me, you know what I'm saying? Like I was nearly paralyzed. Just like I said, when I finally sat down with the guy and he told me that, he recommended immediate surgery and told me like if you get in a car accident or you take a blow to the wrong blow to the back, anything like that, you could be paralyzed. And like I said, that was a humbling experience. That was a humbling experience. But we have to, stop treating preventative health care like it's optional. As soon as we know something going on with our body, as soon as we feel something that's going on with our body, we have to get it checked out. We can't be waiting until it's too late, And for those that, you know what I'm saying, look, going to the doctor does not mean you're weak. Getting counseling when you having, something going on mentally does not mean you crazy. And I know that's how we looked at it in the hood. If somebody had told me, like talking to a psychiatrist or talking to a counselor, when we talked about that, when we were raised up to where automatically we thinking you crazy. That's the understanding that we had, but that's not what's real. Taking medications does not mean you weak. Changing your diet, don't mean you missing out on nothing. Walking every day, getting out and walking every day don't make you soft. It don't make you, any of the things, the negative things that we've been taught or that we've been led to believe or that we feel personally. It's just not what it is. Taking care of yourself, taking time out in your life to take care of yourself does not mean you don't love nobody else. It don't mean you don't love your family. It don't mean, that you're not being there for your family. It means you intend to be here for them. That's what it means. Preventative health care means you intend to be here for not only yourself, mainly yourself, but for your loved ones. And just like I said, man, I'm a big brother, I'm a father, I'm a protector. So realizing, you know what I'm saying, that I almost, were permanently, paralyzed behind my health, man, it brought about a change in me. And anybody that know me know I do not like doctors. I do not like hospitals, never have. But I've been on my health care kick. I've been going to that doctor regular. I've been getting checked out. You know, like I've been on it because that scared me. And I never want to get to that point no more. I never want to get to that point. And I never want to see any one of my loved ones at that point. But like I said, I have loved ones who are dealing with health issues right now. And like I pray for y'all all the time. Anybody that's dealing with health issues, I pray. If I don't check on you enough, I apologize. But I try to check on you. I try to show support. And man, I'm just really focused on my health and my people being healthy, man, because I'm tired of losing people. I'm tired of losing people. I'm tired of losing people. I don't want to lose any more people. If I can help it, I would take you to the hospital myself and strap you on the table because I'm tired of losing people. Man. I'm tired of losing people. But men, most importantly, I want to speak directly to my brothers, my homies, any other black man that's listening. Brothers, we have got to do better, bro. We have got to do better. It's a must because too many of us were raised to believe that we have to be strong, we have to be tough, we have to be the protectors. We have to be everything. But it's okay to admit you hurt. It's okay to admit you're not right. And don't let nobody make you believe different. I was one of those guys. And that's why I'll be so open in sharing my stories, not just my physical, the things that I've done with physically, but the things that I've done mentally, because people know me for being one of the strongest, toughest dudes I know. And like the best way to get people to understand, I feel like, is to be open about my journey and the things that I've went through with dealing with the mental issues, the counseling, dealing with the physical issues. But that's strength. That takes strength. And I'm not saying that I'm it makes me no better or it makes me nothing, but I'm willing to get on the front line like I've always been willing to get for anything else. I've been on the front line for my family. I've been on the front line for my hood. I've been on the front line for my gang. I've been on the front line for everything that I believe in. So I'm more than willing to take the front line when it comes to what we need to do in our communities, what we need to do when it comes to our health and anything else that I feel like is real. So again, man, like holding in the hurt, not taking care of ourselves, that's not strength. That's not strength. Strength is being willing to confront reality. Strength is being real enough to keep it real with yourself. If your blood pressure is high, deal with it. If your weight becoming a problem, you know what I'm saying, and you gaining weight, you carrying that excess weight, deal with it. If you depressed, man, talk to somebody. You don't have to suffer by yourself, man. If you stressed, figure out some stress relief. You know what I'm saying? Figure out some ways to, deal with the stress. If you drinking too much, deal with it, man. Be a man, deal with it. I smoke. I smoke cigars. I need to deal with that. I need to deal with that. But if you're not sleeping, if you're not getting enough rest, deal with it. And if you don't know what's going on with your body, man, go find out. Go find out. Go to the doctor. Get you a physical, get you a checkup. And just like I said earlier, I used to think, that it was for older people, even though I'm older now. But like I said, I've seen how it affects young people. I've seen young people, deal with cancer. I've seen young people deal with diabetes, so it's not an age thing anymore. It's not an age thing. And it's not because you feel strong or you like, everybody deals with it. Everybody is affected. But heed the warning signs. Your body is designed to give you the warning signs. Heed those signs, man. You can't protect your family if you refuse to protect yourself. You can't be there for nobody if you don't first take care of yourself. You can't build wealth. Shout out to my bro Ben. We talk about that all the time. Shout out to my little bro Benny Lee. We talk about that all the time. We talk about getting money, getting together, getting our family straight, getting our, family as a whole straight. But we can't do none of that if we not on point health-wise. It's not going to happen. We can't build wealth. We can't get to the money if we constantly sick. We can't lead our children. We can't lead our families if we physically and mentally falling apart. It don't work. That do not work, man. And regardless of what people say, brothers, the world needs us, man. Our kids need us. Our family needs us. Hell, we need us because we all we got. We got to stick together. All my people know that. All my brothers, man, I need y'all. All my non-blood brothers, I need y'all, man. So we have to do better. Take care of your health, man. Go to the hospital, get a checkup. If you ain't been in a while, go, man. Go, set your appointment. Go, walk in. Tell somebody, man, hey, man, I need to get checked out. I need a physical. I need to make sure I'm good. I need to make sure I'm good. But again, our children, we have to start breaking the cycle and we have to show them a better way. We change what we pass down. And y'all know that. Y'all know that. I talk about all the time how we acted out there in the streets and looking at these kids now. As we get older, these kids are still looking at us. They still mimicking us. We can put them on game. We can teach them, the right way to do it. Just like we trying to, get out in the community and teach them the right way to move and how to make good choices and decisions. Taking care of our health, man. Like, we don't understand how many of those youngsters out there that deal with mental health issues. We don't know, we don't understand how many of them out there, that deal with physical illness and don't know what to do and feel like, oh, I'm tough. I'm not gonna go to the hospital. That's a sign of weakness. Or I'm not gonna go, talk to no counselor when I'm going through stuff because that makes me less hard, or that makes me not hard. Like, we have to teach our children, and we have to teach, our children and ourselves that, water is important. Drinking water is important, eating fruits and vegetables. I got to the point where, once I got older, I said I would never eat no vegetables. So I still have those spells now where I don't eat vegetables. I eat strictly meat, strictly meat on my plate. But we have to teach them that exercise is normal. We have to get back to exercising. We have to teach them that getting enough sleep is healthy, man. It matters. We need to, get them on a personal hygiene kit, taking care of themselves, dental health, man. Like I said, I didn't go when we were young. We didn't go to the hospital. To the dentist to get, checkup. We didn't go get our teeth cleaned. We finally went after the pain medicine wouldn't help no more. And by then we was having cavities and losing teeth. But we need to teach them that. Take care of themselves in advance. We need to teach them about their mental health, man, and teach them that it's okay to not have it all together, man. We need to teach them to go to the doctor on a regular. Get your 6 months or yearly checkup, in advance. Start taking care of stuff in advance. We need to learn, man, that as men, this body, man, it's our shell. If this body breaks down, man, if we allow this body to break down, man, it will break us down as men. We can't do anything without a healthy body and a healthy mind. We can't be strong men with weak bodies and weak minds. It don't work. It don't work. We don't work. And everybody needs to know that food is not entertainment. Food is not entertainment. Food is not, the cure because you're going through something. Food is not the cure because, the coping mechanism. It's not. We need to teach our children that eating isn't about satisfying a craving. We need to teach them that food is fuel, man. It's fuel for the body. And we need to eat accordingly. I still need to change my eating habits. I still love fried. Always will, but we need to learn to eat it in moderation. We need to, teach our kids how food affects our body. We need to teach them how food, the right food gives us energy. The wrong foods can kill our energy, can kill our drive. We need to teach them how food affects our weight. We need how different foods affect our blood sugar, how food affects our blood health, cardiovascular health, and our children watch us. So we need to practice what we preach. If we don't know, we need to learn. Because what we don't know will hurt us. What we don't know will kill us. It's serious. It's serious, man. If we make healthy living a part of our family culture, children grow up seeing it as normal. If we continue to, eat what we want to eat, deal with this fast food and continue to do it, our kids see that. Our kids see that. My son a fast food junkie now. My son know what I'm saying. He finally coming around and eating vegetables, but TV taught him that, vegetables was nasty. I had to get him to eat them try them on his own and don't let nobody else, tell him what to think. But now he eating a few vegetables. It's a constant cycle, but we have to constantly stay on top of it because if we don't, man, it could kill us. It could kill us. It could kill our kids. It could destroy us. And we need to get serious about it. We need to get serious about it. And we can't talk about health in general without talking about mental health, because we suffer more mentally, a lot of us, than we really want to admit. A lot of us suffer more mentally because we never been taught to deal with it. We just been taught that it's cool. Get over it. Pray about it. Oh, you good. You got a strong mind. You strong. Don't be weak. Don't show no weakness. But some people are walking around looking healthy as hell on the outside while they falling apart on the inside. Let's keep it real. You talk to them, they act good. They act, like you look at them, everything looks perfect. They talk like everything perfect, but inside they falling apart. And we have to normalize discussing our mental health. We have to normalize talking about depression. We have to normalize talking about anxiety. We have to normalize talking about our trauma, our grief, our stress, our anger, our addiction, loneliness. It's so many things, man. Relationship problems. All of this affects us mentally, man. And keep it real, our mental state affects us physically, whether we want to realize it or not. Our mental state have a mate, because if you're not right mentally, you don't want to exercise. You don't want to eat right. You're not concerned about that. So it all play a part, man. It all, coincides. It all comes together. Your mental can affect your physical, and your physical can affect your mental. And especially in Black communities, we have to move away from the idea that asking for help automatically means we weak. That's not what it is. It takes strength in it. I realized it. That's why I stepped up and reached out, because I realized, the weakness would have been sitting back, you know what I'm saying, and continue to be silent and allowing it to destroy you, whether it's physical health or mental health. That's the weakness. Sitting back and allow something to destroy you and not trying to figure out how to deal with it. To me, that's the biggest weakness. That's like getting bullied by something and you scared to tell somebody. You scared to get some help. That shows a bigger weakness than saying, hey, man, I got a problem. I need to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to get right. I got to get right. And sometimes asking for help is one of the strongest things you can do. Like I said, it's one of the strongest things you can do, because mental health affects families. It affects your relationship. It affects how you parent. It affects your job, your decision making, your physical health. And mental health deserves the same seriousness as your physical, because it's one and the same. You can't have one without the other. But before we get too late, I want to talk about the most important part of this conversation tonight. And I don't never want to spend the whole hour telling you about what's wrong and crying, making excuses, or none of that. The main parts of these conversations is, what can we do about it? No matter what I talk about, no matter what topic I discuss, I feel like that is the main topic that I have to stress about anything I talk about. What can we do about it? What can we do to change it? So I'm giving the 10-step health reset. The 10-step health reset. And like I said, I'm gonna run through it pretty quick, but this is the most important part of the conversation. I wanted to wake you up so you really could hear this part right here, and I hope y'all still tuned in. But number one, get a checkup. That's the first thing you do. If you haven't had a physical recently, schedule one. And get to the point where you know your numbers. Cholesterol, blood pressure, all of that. Get to the point where you know your numbers. Number two, know your blood pressure. High blood pressure can exist without symptoms. without obvious symptoms. Don't wait until you feel sick. Know your blood pressure, know your blood sugar. Talk to your healthcare provider about appropriate diabetes screening. Know your blood sugar, man. Move your body. I have to do this more. I have to be more about this. But hey, for the older guys, you don't have to get back to your professional athlete days. You don't have to, but move your body, man. Walk, stretch, exercise, and start somewhere. Start somewhere. Man. Get up in the morning, take a walk. It ain't got to be far. Start, with what you can do. Start small, man, and grow. But get moving. Move your body. Number 5, change what's on your plate. You can control that. Don't try to, you ain't got to change everything overnight. You ain't got to wake up in the morning and become a vegetarian. But start reducing the things that are hurting you and increase the healthy choices. Start eating some vegetables. Man. Start grabbing you some fruits and nuts. Start somewhere. Number 6, drink more water. Drink more water. That's one thing I can say I do consistently. I make water a normal part of my daily routine. I'm always drinking me some water. And that's one of the hardest things because I'm a Kool-Aid dude. But drink you some water, man. Prioritize sleep. Your body needs sleep. Your body needs to recover. I try to get mine. And like I said, I be so caught up mentally, I don't always get it, at night. But I'm going to get it during the day. I'm going to get it. I'm going to make sure I get it. My sleep schedule will be off a lot, but I'm going to make sure I get my sleep and make sure I try to stay rested. But prioritize your sleep, man. Your body needs to be able to rest in order to recover. Number 8, take your mental health seriously. Take your mental health seriously. If you're struggling, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody you trust, man. If you trust me, talk to me. Don't hold it in. And if need be, man, like I had to do, consider talking to a professional. It don't make you weak. That shit will actually make you stronger. Do something about it. Don't just sit by and suffer in silence. Don't let the bully beat you up in silence. Speak to somebody, man. Talk to somebody. Get some help. That's the only way you're going to get right. That's the only way. And right is might. Right is might. But number 9, stop ignoring the warning signs. Stop it. Don't assume every symptom will disappear. Don't assume just because you take some Tylenol or you take some pain meds and it ease the pain. No, that is not right. If you keep having the same pains, if you keep dealing with the same issue, it's not right. Get it checked out. Stop ignoring the warning sign. If something concerns you, get medical advice. If your head keep hurting on the regular, get advice. If your chest, get the hurting on the regular, get advice. Talk to somebody, man. Go talk to somebody. Stop ignoring it because you don't want to wait until it get too late. And number 10, make health a family culture, man. Anybody around you, make it healthy. Don't make this something one person does. Make it something that the family does. Whether it's your immediate family, your wife, your kids, your extended family, the bros, your cousins, everybody, man. Make it a healthy thing. If y'all had to go, start back going to hoop, man. Start back going like we used to do back in the days. Go get some exercise. Go hoop. Go walk together. Hit the gym together. But I want to challenge everybody watching tonight. I always try to challenge us, man, to do better. But I want to challenge, everybody watching tonight. Not a one-day challenge, not for a 1-week challenge, but 30 days. For the next 30 days, move your body every day. Try to move your body every day. Do some jumping jacks. Do some running in place. Take a walk. If you got one, ride a bike. Drink more water. Try to, make healthier food choices. Put some of that fried down and get you some baked. Eat a few more vegetables. Put some vegetables on your plate. Put some corn on there. Put some greens on there. Get your sleep. Make sure you get your rest, man. Let's reduce the alcohol. Let's stop drinking so much. Me personally, in the tobacco smokers, reduce the tobacco we smoke, man. any other harmful substance. You know, let's try to cut back. I ain't saying quit. Let's cut back. Let's do it a little less. And have a conversation, man. Have a conversation with your family about health. Have a conversation. If you got something going on mentally, man, talk to somebody. If you know me, reach out. Talk to me if you got something going on. I don't judge, man. I don't judge. That's why I'm so open with my journey, man, because I want to let people know it's okay. It's okay, man. But schedule an appointment. Schedule an appointment with a doctor. If you've been putting it off, you know you ain't had no physical, you know you ain't been to see the doctor in a while. Schedule an appointment with your doctor. And the most important thing that we can do as individuals is bring somebody with you. Bring somebody with you. Ask somebody else to join you. If it's your wife, if it's your girlfriend, you know, if it's your brother, your cousin, ask somebody else to join you. You know, your mother, your father, it could be anybody, your friend. Ask somebody to join you because we're not just trying to become healthier individuals. You know, I've been telling myself this for the longest, but I know I care about my people, so I want them to be healthy too. We trying to create healthier families, and healthier families create healthier communities. That's the way it works. Each one teach one. You know, if you got a gym membership, man, and you got a extra, you know, you can bring a partner. Take somebody with you. Take somebody with you, or like I said, y'all come together. If you can find a gym membership, you know, where you can bring a partner all the time. We know how to do it. Somebody pay for the membership, y'all pay for it together, and y'all both just go. Do whatever you need to do, man. Do whatever you need to do. But we spend a lot of time talking about what we're going to leave our children, you know, money, property, you know, business, investments. I know I do. But there's nothing else we need to leave them that's more important than healthy parents. Nothing. Nothing. Healthy parents, healthy grandparents, healthy role models, healthy habits, healthy communities. Because what's the point in building the wealth if we're not healthy enough to enjoy it? That's one of my biggest questions. Because I stay talking about building wealth and getting my family straight, but what would all that mean if I'm not healthy enough to enjoy it? It wouldn't mean much. What's the point in owning property if we're not healthy enough to live on it or live in it? What's the point in building a business if health prevents us from enjoying the fruits of our labor? What good is it? What's the point in telling our children to succeed if we're not teaching them how to take care of themselves and we're not taking care of ourselves so we can be there as long as possible to enjoy their success, man? And watch them, you know, like we have to stop waiting until we're sick to start caring about our health. Our bodies are telling us something. Our families are telling us something. The statistics are telling us something. And it's time to listen. It really is. Before it's too late. I don't want to get that call that you're sick, you're in the hospital, and you know, you have cancer or you have none of that. Like I pray to God I never get that call. Nobody. And just like I said, a lot of times it's in our hands. And like I said, this is not all the time. It's not about blaming us. It's not about blaming the government. It's not about blaming the doctors. It's not about blaming our parents. This is about recognizing the problem, understanding the problem, and deciding the cycle will stop with me. It stops with me. If you're watching this tonight, I want you to type in the box right now, or if you're watching it, you know, the video later, type in the comments. The cycle stops with me. Not tomorrow, not next year, but tonight. Tonight. If we want healthier families, we have to become healthier people. If we want healthier neighborhoods, we have to build healthier families. And if we want stronger communities, we have to start with ourselves as individuals. That's the only way it starts. That's the only way we're going to get better. But as always, man, I'm Mr. O'Neill. This is P-Ave Perspective. Thank y'all for tuning in. And hopefully, God willing, I'll be back next week, man. But take care of yourself, man. Peace.